Medusa Japan Gaming. Boot sequence. In 25 days, the Switch 2 gets $50 more expensive. Later today, GTA 6 shows its first official receipts. And this Tuesday, 2 Nintendo games arrived 30 years late. It is Friday, August 7th. This desk maps the whole week in about 6 minutes. Numbers on screen, sources below. Press start. Top story. On Wednesday, Nintendo posted its first quarter, and the headline number is 23.68 million. That is every Switch 2 sold through the end of June, 13 months after launch. The quarter itself, 3.82 million consoles, down 34% from the launch quarter a year ago. Sounds dramatic. Mostly is not. You only launch once. Software is the real engine here. 10.78 million Switch 2 games moved this quarter. Mario Kart World alone now sits at 15.39 million copies. Profit was up 53.5% to roughly $933 million. The help came from strong game sales and, of all things, refunds on U.S. tariffs. The full-year target stays at 16.5 million consoles. Then the sting. From September 1st, the Switch 2 goes from $450 to $500 in the United States. Every configuration. Nintendo calls it changes in market conditions. Translation: memory prices are climbing while AI data centers eat the world's RAM. And Japan already took its own price rise back in May. If you want one at the old price, you have 25 days. Sony reported a week earlier, for context. PlayStation 5 stands at 95.3 million lifetime. Its quarter was slow, 1.6 million consoles, down 36%. But the games division still grew profit 37% on those same tariff refunds. Sony now forecasts a record year. One line from the call did the rounds. Investments in, quote, the next generation platform. Make of that what you will. The console cycle is turning, and both companies just told you. Politely. In accounting language. Data screen. Switch 2 first-party software, lifetime, as of June 30th. Mario Kart World, 15.4 million. Donkey Kong Bonanza, 4.8. Pokémon Legends ZA, 4. Pokémon Pokopia, 3.7. Kirby Air Riders, 1.9. Now read the first bar again. 65% of everyone who owns a Switch 2 owns Mario Kart World. That is not a launch game. That is a system seller doing exactly what the term promises. Japan Desk. Game Freak has spent 3 decades as the Pokémon studio. On Monday, it shipped something else. Beast of Reincarnation is a full-scale action RPG. It is set in a sealed, overgrown Japan 2,000 years from now. You play Emma, sealed fist and all, with a dog called Ku. The combat runs on parries, with a light command layer underneath. Reviews landed mid-70s. 73 on Metacritic, 76 on OpenCritic. Critics like the mood, the combat, and the dog. They are colder on the story, and the PC version had a rough day one. Solid, not seismic. But the assignment was proving Game Freak can ship AAA beyond Pokémon, and that point is now on the board. 2 days later, ArcSys Works launched Marvel Tekken, Fighting Souls. It is published by Sony itself, on PlayStation 5 and PC. 4-on-4 tag fighting, the trademark anime look, and an on-ramp built so a beginner can actually land a combo. A Day 1 patch went straight at the open beta's complaints: performance, stability, CPU usage. Sony bankrolling a Marvel tag fighter from the Guilty Gear studio tells you where it thinks fighting games are heading. Capcom, meanwhile, quietly stacked milestones. Pragmata, a brand new IP, has cleared 2.5 million copies. And Resident Evil Requiem has shipped 8 million since February. And then the time capsule. On Tuesday, Nintendo added 2 games to its Virtual Boy library that nobody outside the company has ever played. Zero Racers, a cancelled F-Zero spin-off, and D-Hopper, an intelligent systems adventure. Both were finished in 1996. Both were shelved when the Virtual Boy died. 30 years in a drawer, and this Tuesday they shipped, for the first time ever. Game preservation rarely gets a win this clean. Radar. The one happening today. Take-Two reports earnings at 8 in the morning, New York time, on its first ever Friday call. The quarter it covers includes the first 5 days of GTA 6 pre-orders. Analysts at Newzoo estimate the opening week at roughly $260 million. That is the strongest start they have ever recorded. That is an estimate, not an official figure. The official number lands hours after this video. November 19th is 104 days away. Quick hits. PlayStation Plus for August. Dying Light 2 Reloaded, the excellent Signales, and Big Walk. Subnautica 2 reached 5 million copies in 22 days of early access. That handed Krafton its best second quarter ever. The sober line. More than 3,700 people have lost games industry jobs in 2026. That is Epic, Bungie, Ubisoft, and beyond. Worth keeping on screen while the record profits scroll past. And next up, Gamescom. Opening night live is August 25th, and the Cologne show floor runs through the 30th. It is already sold out. Nintendo, Xbox, Capcom, and CD Projekt Red are all confirmed. Oh, and Super Mario Sunshine hits Nintendo Classics on August 13th. Pack sunscreen. That is the week. Every source and every image credit is in the description. If this desk saved you an hour of tab hopping, the subscribe button is the coin slot. Continue. See you next Friday.